It can be frustrating when our needs aren't met in a relationship or someone doesn't see us. And a very common way of reacting to those types of situations is by stonewalling, sulking. And often that doesn't help at all, or it takes a long time and it's really difficult until the conflict is resolved. Stay tuned to find out how we can respond to these types of situations in a way that contributes to the emotional intimacy of the relationship instead of hurting it. Hey everyone, and welcome here. I'm Maika, a psychologist, and this is Becoming an Expert at Self-Leadership, a channel about self-empowerment and personal growth. Whenever I talk about emotional intimacy, deep and meaningful connections to others, all of you have a lot of questions. So this is another video that highlights an important aspect of what it means to maintain and establish emotional intimacy in relationships. What I want to address is something called protest behavior. This is behavior we use to try to increase the emotional intimacy in a relationship, but it either doesn't work or simultaneously scars the relationship. Protest behavior is when we try to draw attention to something, an issue, an unmet need, try to get someone's attention or establish connection, but we don't openly address what's going on. We do something else to try to draw attention to that issue. Common forms of protest behavior are sulking, giving someone the silent treatment. The message is supposed to be, I'll talk to you again once you've guessed what's going on and solved the problem. Any form of withdrawal that doesn't have a real intention of withdrawing or taking a break from the discussion. For example, leaving the room hoping to be followed. The message is supposed to be, I want you to show me that you care enough to do what it takes to solve this problem. Or it can also be threats of ending the relationship, even if there's no true intention of discontinuing the relationship. Playing games, trying to make someone jealous, or doing something that will teach them a lesson. For example, saying that you already have plans, although you don't, in the hopes that next time the person will call you earlier and not last minute. Lashing out, criticizing, blaming the other person. This can also be nonverbal forms of hostility, like pouty facial expressions, eye rolls, rolling eyes, hostile body language and tone of voice. Intensifying contact, excessive texting and calling, or showing up at someone's doorstep although they said that they couldn't receive guests, or contacting that person's friends and family to try to get that person to come closer again in the relationship. Or testing, coming up with a scheme to try to test someone's commitment and loyalty in the relationship. Like all behavior, protest behavior is driven by beliefs. We use protest behavior whenever our beliefs make it seem like that's the best way to go. Beliefs that fuel protest behavior are beliefs like, when I express my needs, I'm being too needy. I'm not important, I'm not considered, I'm not worthy of having my needs considered. Whenever I express my needs, I will get hurt. It's not safe to express needs. I have to adapt and conform. I can't be authentically me. I'm unlovable, or relationships are fragile and addressing needs and issues breaks them. I've already mentioned that protest behavior puts unnecessary strain on relationships. And another problem with protest behavior is that it's unclear. When the person doesn't respond to the protest behavior the way we had hoped they would, we'll never know why. We won't know if they're upset with the protest behavior and that's what's motivating them to do whatever they're doing. We won't know if they maybe just didn't understand what's going on, or if they perhaps did understand but consciously chose not to fulfill that need. Protest behavior increases friction and confusion. Friction and confusion are not supportive of emotional intimacy. What does support emotional intimacy is direct, effective communication. And next, I want to share Levine and Heller's 5 principles of effective communication, which they suggest to replace protest behavior with. Principle number 1, be genuine. Be honest with what's going on with you. When we hide ourselves, it automatically means we're not allowing others to come close to us, and that means we can't experience emotional intimacy. Find out why you have the need to hide yourself whenever you do it, and work on that. Develop the courage to step out into the light and be seen. That's the only way you can find people that resonate with you and experience emotional intimacy. Principle number 2, express your needs. Say what you want and need. Levine and Heller recommend using phrases like, I want, I need, I want to be considered, I need to feel appreciated, I want to feel secure. Any healthy relationship includes conversations about needs. Having needs is not a sign of inadequacy, but that you're alive. You are lovable, you're worthy of being considered, and talking about needs doesn't endanger relationships. It's what keeps them alive. Principle number 3, be specific. Be explicit and clear with the issue. Don't speak in general terms and leave the other person guessing. Mention the concrete situation you are referring to. When I came home and saw the pile of dishes. When you hung up the phone in the middle of the conversation. When you didn't check in with me for days. When I wanted to talk to you, but you continued reading. When I shared something and you started arguing with me in front of the whole group. When you didn't save me a seat. You can follow this up by explaining how that made you feel, what you had expected, and why you're upset and disappointed. Principle number 4, don't depreciate. Don't make the other person feel like something's wrong with them as a person, like they should be ashamed of who they are. Make sure to address the issue when both of you are in a calm state of mind so that you can bring across and they can understand that it's not about making them feel horrible, but about you expressing an issue. Principle number 5, be assertive and non-apologetic. Having needs is nothing you need to feel ashamed of or apologize for. Be calm and secure in what you're trying to say, knowing that it's not only okay to say it, but important for that relationship's well-being. When we apologize in the same breath of expressing an issue, it weakens that statement. It's like pouring water on a candle that we're trying to ignite. Also, it can invite an unspoken agreement that your needs are somehow less important than the other person's. Also, being assertive and non-apologetic doesn't mean to be harsh or loud. It's a calm and secure place. I know that it takes courage to communicate like this, and I really want to encourage you to try it out. Whenever you notice yourself using protest behavior, remind yourself that it's an ineffective strategy of achieving your goal of connecting. It's like trying to cross a river on a bike. Why not use a boat instead? Give yourself a nudge. Go up to the person and talk to them about it. It doesn't have to be right in that moment. It can also be a week later when you've thought about it some more and calmed down. but instead of protesting, talk about it. I'm pretty sure that you will be quite surprised at how helpful and relieving it is. And of course, it doesn't mean that all conflict will immediately be resolved, but it provides a fundament to making conflict resolution at all possible. Every relationship goes through conflict, and communicating about it will nurture that relationship's emotional intimacy. Thanks for watching. If you're new here and you'd like to see more videos like this, remember to hit the subscribe button. Till next time, take care, and remember that for the sake of emotional intimacy, express your needs, address issues, don't use protest behavior.